just because they're making demands doesn't mean you have to follow those demands, and it doesn't mean you have to say yes. You're locked into a contract. They have to abide by the rules of the contract. Council flat Cindy would be on the floor right now thinking, you what, mate? You live where? And it's not the ghetto? Wow.
How many times have we slept diagonally? You slept diagonally just to take up space.
Yeah, this is the 15,000th time, girl, that I've asked you and you've not said. And it's just like, you asked me 15,000 times and then did nothing about it.
Property isn't what people think it is, but it's what you make it.
Yeah, property space is a dodgy space. Like, it's like the drug space, but legal. The power of networking is that people who don't overcomplicate it end up standing out from the crowd. Welcome to the Property Project podcast, where we talk all things property, but also help you to resolve some of the dilemmas that you come up with.
But before you do that, we'd love if you could help us by liking the video, subscribing to our channel so you could get more content from us. I signed a rent-to-rent contract with a landlord who seemed reliable at first, but now they're difficult to communicate with, making constant demands and not fulfilling their responsibilities on maintenance. I think we know that one, innit? We've definitely known that one. How do I handle this situation and prevent it from happening again?
Okay, so the landlord's making demands, basically. They had a good relationship initially, but the landlord's now making demands.
Yeah. So they seemed reliable at first, but then it's kind of just, I don't know, they're not really responding to the person's request for maintenance and stuff like that. So what do you think?
So I think, all right. So the best way to explain that is that we've had that similar situation, which has been a landlord that we've been working with has initially had a really great relationship with Sean, and then all of a sudden, like, viewed the property. Mind you, he viewed the property whilst people were staying there. So we were having different times. We were trying to coordinate a time for him to view on a day where people were not in there, you know, when the cleaners have been in and all that kind of stuff. That wasn't happening. Property
looks like it's best.
Yeah, it's best self, because we can't control how people are going to be acting when they're in the property and how clean. Like, not everyone's the same level of clean. So yeah, he came and he raised some issues, but the way in which he raised the issues, we were kind of like, wait, I thought we were buddies. Like, it was a little bit, it was a bit shady, but I feel like you're going to have that with landlords. I think you can look at it from both sides. Like, landlords are going to be protective of their home. They are going to want things run a certain way, because at the end of the day, it is supposed to be another means of income for them. Yeah. But at the same time, I feel like you should definitely know the difference between an educated landlord. No, that's the word I was looking for. Yeah. You need to know the difference between a greedy landlord and one who is just like clued up, basically. Yeah. So you have ones like, you know about the rental market increase and may want that honoured because they know that the rental increase has gone up to 9% now, slowly going down. But you might have somebody who's like that. That's clued up, not necessarily being greedy, but they want to know their options because now the rental market has gone up. What does that look like for them? But then you have landlords who will just throw out a random number with no evidence behind that number, with no reason behind that number. They know full well if they had given that number to an average tenant, there would have been a lawsuit. So it's like, don't be afraid. You have the upper hand because you're now in the contract, and they can't get rid of the contract just because you're not following what they've said newly. That's not already in the contract. So I think just know that you have the upper hand with that, but also treat it very delicately because you don't know their reasons as to why they're creating so many demands in one go.
100%. I mean, again, looking at the landlord that we dealt with, there were a lot of warning signs that we kind of bypassed because we kind of felt like we had answered all their queries, their initial queries. Obviously, this property was their own property, so we thought that they were acting in their best interest for their own property. But then now it's kind of real, like the way that things have played out just made us realize that maybe they had a game plan the whole time.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So looking back, I think it's great the way that we do business, because the way that we've done business, we've put things in the contract that stop people from being able to take advantage of us later down the line. Do you know what I mean? And people can't come into a contract thinking, oh, okay, I'm just going to say I'm going to agree a 3-year contract, but I'm going to kick up a fuss after 12 months so that, I can just get these guys out because it's a company. I don't have to go through the eviction process and stuff like that. So it's just, I think ways that you can go around it is what kind of demands are they putting out straight away, like at the beginning, like initial? Are they actually reasonable? Are they just coming from a protective place? Are they just, are they just greedy demands? what are you putting in your contracts as well? Because again, obviously you got to make sure that when you do agree stuff, yes, a landlord will have a lot of demands to put in contracts and stuff like that to protect themselves. And a lot of people, because they want their first deal, they want to get a first rent-to-rent deal or whatever, they are happy to kind of bend over backwards to be like, okay, I'll take out this, they'll overcompensate, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And in doing that, they leave themselves open with so many loopholes for the landlord to exploit later on down the line. But you have to understand that it's a contract that is for both of you.
Yeah.
So it has to be a win-win for both sides.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So just having a look at the early signs and making sure that the contract is airtight as well.
Yeah, and the simplicity of it is just also that you don't have to say yes to these demands.
Yeah.
You don't have to say yes.
100%.
You don't have to.
100%.
We don't always say yes, but we also don't always say no. Like, if it's reasonable, then fair. Like, you know, we were saying about one of the landlords we've been working with. He's not asked us a thing. We're like coming into our second year with him now.
No, third year.
Third year with him.
That's the worst thing about it.
And he's never
the best thing about it.
I'm even losing time. He's never complained once. Like, the most he does is call me to let me know that the balcony light has been left on.
Yeah.
By someone else, you know, a company that's staying in there or family that's staying in there. That's the most he does. Outside of that, he doesn't say anything. He doesn't do anything. He doesn't bother us. And I think if he was to come to us now, considering the money we've made off his property, and was like, listen, I need to charge £100 extra, I wouldn't question it. And to be honest, even if it put us in a tricky situation within the business, not too tricky that we wouldn't be making money, I would strongly consider it. And I'm sure you would too, because he's
100%.
such an easygoing landlord who wouldn't be irrational with the demands that he's requesting. If he's asking for something, he's asking for something.
Yeah.
Even when he first started working with us, the questions he was asking us were just like fair.
Basic.
Yeah.
Like he was just
fair.
like, all right, cool.
It's like, so you got a company, right? What's your company name? What's your company number? Fair. Cool. So you've never done this before. You haven't had any money running in your accounts. How can I trust that you can do this? Fair. So all his questions have always been
just about reliability.
Logical and they've never been like, okay, so say you start making £1,000 profit, like where do I come into that?
Yeah.
Whereas we have actually had landlords who say things like, you know, the two that we worked with, that we were so happy to get rid of.
Yeah, happy to dispose of
that contract.
No, like not dispose of like that.
No. We are not killers. Disclaimer.
Yeah.
But they were very much like, oh, well, if you're making that amount of money, then what does that mean for us? It's like, it means it's none of your business. Yeah. That's what it means.
Because again, like when it comes down to it, landlords only want to really go through this model with you if they know about the strategy.
Yeah.
And the most important things is that they get paid on time and their property is looked after.
Yeah.
As long as those two things are done, it's fine.
Yeah.
But then you get the greedy side where they're like, okay, so if you're making that much, that means that I can get a little bit of that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I'm not just only happy with what I'm getting. I want a slice of your pie as well. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, that's where you start getting greedy. And even with the landlord that we was talking about originally, initially the demands that he was coming out with just didn't make any sense. And we had to break it down to him like, listen, if you're asking for this much, we can't offer you this much because
the house needs to make sense with
the house rent. Needs to make sense.
What do you mean?
100%.
You can't be charging for a 5-bedroom, 6-bedroom house if your house is a 3-bedroom, 4-bedroom. Barely the 4th bedroom is a double bedroom. It's maybe like a single room.
Yeah.
On top of that, there's no parking. On top of that, like the location isn't like you can't be demanding all that.
And it's nasty.
Yeah, do
you know what I mean?
Because why do you have oil that we've had to scrape off from the ceiling?
Yeah.
Like what's going on? Yeah. So you've got to just make it. The moral of the story is, just because they're making demands doesn't mean you have to follow those demands, and it doesn't mean you have to say yes. You're locked into a contract. They have to abide by the rules of the contract. That's what the contract is there for. Anything added to that is just a plus or a bonus for either side, depending on who it benefits. So don't be afraid to take charge of it and be like, actually, thanks for sharing that with me. I don't agree, and I don't think it's necessary for us to review this at this point, but I'd be happy to review again in 12 months' time.
Yeah.
And you keep them reviewing. End of.
Simple as.
But yeah. Hopefully that helps. In other news,
yes,
I'm so bad with British sayings. I feel like I should go somewhere where
there's nowhere to go because the place to go was school, and you've missed that now. So you're just stuck with whatever you've got.
But I went to an English school.
Yeah, and
okay. Well, How have you been doing?
I've been doing fantastic.
Clearly.
Fantastic. How about you?
I've been doing good. Obviously, we've moved into our new place now.
Oh, yes. General update.
General
guys.
update.
Yeah, so...
what's it, news alert? No. Catching news. No.
Breaking news.
Breaking news.
Catching news. What news are you catching?
I'm actually going to learn them. Do you know what? Every podcast now,
you're going to
after these ones that we record, I'm going to come up with a new British
catchphrase.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Lingo.
All right, yeah. All right, I'll hold you to that. So this first one is breaking news, yeah?
Breaking news.
So breaking news.
Yeah, I broke the news, right? Breaking news. We have moved into
our
new house.
Yeah, property.
Which has been... I just can't fault it. You know what? The feeling... Obviously, we've lived by ourselves before. Like for both of us. Well, you lived in your house. I lived in like Red Hill, and then obviously... Yeah, moved in with you.
But we've had that experience of living together.
Yeah. But I feel like it's so much better this time. And I don't know if it's so much better because when you're younger and you move it out somewhere, the only reason you move out is for like personal space.
Yeah.
But I feel like now it's more about development. And I feel like it's been like a space that we can develop in and we can grow in. And, you know, I don't know, just like the space that we've moved into, like, I don't know. Because it's almost like you want to say, but you don't want to say it like bragging. But at the end of the day, I'm proud of it. And I feel like the fact that it's just us two sharing one room, we have our nice little walk-in wardrobe.
Yeah.
We have a spare room for those who want to stay, who we invite only.
Yeah. We have an office.
We have office space. We have a conservatory. We have a garden. We have a drive. Like everything that I would have dreamed of. And I keep calling it Council Flat Cindy. Council Flat Cindy would be on the floor right now thinking, you what, mate? Sorry, you live where? Sorry? And it's not the ghetto? Wow.
Because I think it's just like, obviously we've lived in nice areas or nice enough areas, but then I guess it's everything that comes with it.
Yeah.
And then obviously when we started this business, we were living together, but then things changed. Obviously we both went back home.
Yeah.
So I went to my mum's, you went to your mum's. And
because our property is now service accommodation that we use it for.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
And it wasn't initially, we rented it out and we had a whole situation with that.
Yeah,
with a single tenant and whatever. But I mean, again, obviously, we started the business when we were kind of living at home, and we grew it to where we managed to grow it to. But I think we kind of hit a ceiling. And the ceiling was because there was just, as much as, you know, me personally, I'm grateful for my mum who allowed me to move back home.
You stopped us from being homeless.
Do you know what I mean? And
not that we would have been,
not that we would have been, but it's just like
we had to make certain steps.
Yeah.
And
because when we started, we drastically scaled down. It was all part of our change in mind, our initial change in mindset. We've always said this, that we have great jobs, and we had great salaries, and again, it just wasn't making sense with the type of life that we was living. We were still living paycheck to paycheck. We were comfortable going on holiday all the time, but there was no progression from it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I feel like when we started to change our mindset, we realized that actually the things that we are doing now are only their instant gratification.
Yeah.
We want delayed gratification. We want to work hard for things and be able to have that dream after. Do you know what I mean? And we don't necessarily want the rewards right now. So when we started that, we obviously drastically scaled back. I got rid of my car. We moved out of the place and went back home and everything like that.
I couldn't go on holidays.
You couldn't go on holidays. Do you know what I mean? But
we did
obviously we still went on holidays. But
we didn't go on the 4 or 5, 6 that we go on each year.
7, 8, 9. Yeah. No, it's crazy.
We go on a lot of. We used to go on a lot of holidays, and we didn't get to do that.
Yeah.
But it's just little things, like things that we're still grateful for, because there are families out there who have probably never left the country and haven't been able to because of finances. So it's not like serious things. Again, Sean had to get rid of his car, which was like more of a thing that is just a nice thing to have. It's not necessarily a necessity, but yeah, we just had to get rid of the things that we were used to in certain
it was
lifestyle.
all the material
so it's nice
things,
to have this new property where we can just do us.
Yeah.
And it's our think tank. Like, it's just a space that we can now just think, go away and be productive.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we hold ourselves way more accountable now. I don't know how long it will last, but I mean,
No. I feel
it's
like,
lasted as long as it has so far.
yeah, but that's a indication of the growth that we've had.
Yeah, for sure.
Before, we would get out of bed at whatever time in the afternoon. Like,
Go
not
to
hold
bed
up
extra late
for no reason.
Watch loads of
Just
films.
binge watching films and series for no reason.
Yeah.
Wondering why we're tired.
Yeah.
And we just had like a 13-hour sleep. That's me. Maybe it's just me I'm talking
That was
about.
probably
But
just.
yeah, but still,
I did that for a long time. Yeah.
But yeah, even going back to what I was saying in terms of productivity, like when we grew the business to where it was while living out of our parents' homes, there's only so much we could do because the space was limited.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? The space was limited, and therefore, because our space was limited, our creativity was kind of limited as well. But then moving here now, it's just I don't know. There's something about just waking up out of your room or out of your bed, sorry. Going into
Super king bed,
by the way.
Super king bed.
And that's not even to brag, but it's just like...
No, it's a whole load of difference.
It's just a whole load of difference.
It's a whole load of difference.
But like rolling over twice and not falling off the bed.
Not even that. Like,
crazy.
again, we all had bunk beds when we grew up. Or like, I had to share a room. I shared a room for a very, very, very long time.
Yeah.
Just to know that I can roll over twice, 3 times and still spread my arms. It's a great...
We actually could...
It's a great...
How many times have we slept diagonally? You slept diagonally just to take up space.
Yeah.
But it's just about like obviously getting out of bed, going to the bathroom, which is in the room, ensuite.
Yeah.
Sorting ourselves out, and then walking across to go into the office and start work.
Yeah.
Go downstairs, make a little green tea, CMOS and that. If you don't know about CMOS.
Anyways.
Anyway, watch the vlog. Hey, you know what? We've got some vlogs coming out as well. So by the time this comes out, there'll probably be some more coming out. So watch some vlogs as well. But
it helps our productivity, and I think that's 100%. The main thing. So that's something that's pretty new for us. Again, God is just so good. I can't even keep I don't know. I just have to keep expressing it because I feel like this is not us. Like this, what is happening right now is miracles in front of us. Like we're praying and then we're acting. We're praying, we're acting. We're praying, we're acting, and we're just mainly, instead of always asking, just working on giving thanks for what we have already and what we know is to come. Yeah. Because I feel like without it, we would be on the floor. We were on the floor when we weren't taking faith seriously. When we weren't. We're crying to God. Oh, why haven't I got this? Why haven't I got? I asked you. This is the 15,000th time, God. I've asked you, and you've not said. And it's just like you asked me 15,000 times and then did nothing about it. So of course you're not going to get anything from it. And also you're already not appreciative of what you already have.
So what makes you
think you're going to be happier if I add something else to the box? What makes you think you're going to be happier if I give you exactly what you're asking for and what you're looking for? And also what you ask for doesn't always come in the shape or way in which you want it to arrive as well. So I feel like the newest thing for us has been developing a lot more in faith, because that is really what's carried us, and I'm grateful for that as well. So those are a few new things about what's been going on for us. The business has been growing. I think that's where I was starting off. And I'm not even joking. It's like old leads have been bringing themselves forward now. Like we're having landlords who are, recommending us to other landlords. Like we can't even take on these properties, so it's like we're just gonna have to source them, deal source, and give them to another investor who's willing to take them on, which again has picked up everything that we've kind of spoken about this year, has taken off. And I really encourage you to go back to our vlogs from January. I mean from our podcast,
our podcast,
podcast and our posts on Instagram from January, where we are crying about the fact that nothing is going well for us. We don't know what we're doing wrong.
Off the back of
property is not what people think it is. Like, and some of those things still stand, but
it's more solution focused now. It's kind of like, yes, property isn't what people think it is. But it's what you make it. Yeah. It's not. A lot of people are struggling in winter right now. And a lot of people are like, oh, well, it's not working, I'm panicking and things like that. But it's like, we were in that boat before. And the difference was that instead of just complaining and, woe is me and hopefully we get out the end, like, no, we rolled up our sleeves and we put things in place to make sure that this doesn't happen again. Yeah. The contrast between last year and this year is crazy. Yeah. It's crazy. Like, I don't know how... Even from the start of the year, like February, like how you was before when you had a breakdown, a mental breakdown.
Not on the floor crumbling.
Yeah, literally. Like I remember because you did the story, and
And my hair was
I
sticking
looked,
up.
yeah, and I looked at it. I didn't even know you done it, but I looked at it and I just thought
the room's a mess.
I thought, what's she doing? What's she doing?
Yeah.
But yeah, just it's such a contrast.
And there's so many people we've met in between. And you know what? I can't wait. I was thinking the other day, I can't wait to shout so many people out when we hit that space to be like, without you guys, like there's so many people who have gotten us to where we need to be, who have contributed to where we are at the moment. Even people who have, I guarantee the people that we would mention, the people who think we would mention them, well, probably not the people we'd mention. And the people who don't think we'd mention them are the people we'd mention. People who have just said supportive things, people who have watched our stories and then not said anything, or like people have been supportive and been like, oh, I've noticed you've not been online, like how is everything? I hope you're not snowed under. Like people who have left the property space and still check in with us, like all those people are the people that we'd be shouting out.
But it's the thing about genuinity. Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the word, but we're always inventing words on this platform. Can't lie. But yeah, just people's genuine feelings, thoughts and feelings go so much further with us than people who, like people that have big platforms and they do certain things and it's like, I don't know, you just expect people. There's so many other people who just shout out big platforms just because they're big platforms. But in all reality, these big platforms actually don't really care about you. Whereas you've got other people who are much smaller platforms, but they're much more genuine, more real. And that support, that love, that just that warmth that they have brings us much further than any other person, any other big corporation that we've been linked with. So
I think moving forward though, something that I would like to work on is networking. I feel like we're so, I don't like to say we're bad, but we're something we can improve on.
It's easy, it's
something we can definitely improve on, because we've done all of this journey, majority of our journey, not reaching out to people.
Yeah.
And I think people don't do that. A lot of people who speak to us online have never met us in person. And I don't know if you will. I don't know. No, you will. No. You struggle to, like we always say, the property space is a dodgy space. Like it's like the drug space, but legal. Like it's a weird space to be. I don't know how to explain it, which is probably why we don't connect with people. You
don't know people's true intentions when meeting with them. Yeah, which is normal. But you don't know people's true intentions, and then on top of that, you just never know when someone's just gonna snake you.
Yeah, but I do think it's still important to go to network. Like, okay, aside from that, because I feel like I'm going somewhere else. But the main thing is, because I'm even talking myself out going to networking. Yeah. But networking can be very useful. I think not a lot of people use networking in the right way. Yeah. But networking can be very, very useful. I think the most important thing that we've learned as a couple going networking is making sure that you work the room as two separate entities rather than one. So instead of turning up as home unit group, you turn up as Sean and Cindy, the two individuals who are looking to connect with various people for various reasons. So that's pretty much what we attempt to do. Yeah. I would say at the beginning of our networking journey, whatever you want to call it, we would be stuck to each other, and it'd be very hard for us to be, more so me to you, because my worst fit, I literally don't like going anywhere. I don't like meeting new people. I don't really like speaking to people. My job allows me to come across as a people person, but
in reality it's kind of like the less time spent the better.
Yeah, definitely. I'm like one of those people, in the experiments, they're like, you have to be in a dark room for like 42 hours, 48 hours, 72 hours on your own, and like not have any contact with people. I'll be like,
yeah, you can do that.
Turn off the lights. Yeah, I'll nap a little bit. But yeah, apart from, I think that's what we've learned, that going and presenting yourself as two separate entities rather than one is better. What's kind of been your experience of networking? Because a lot of people have questions around whether networking actually helps you to find the investors you want to work with, your joint venture partner, helps with learning. Does it actually educate you? Like, what's your thoughts on networking?
I think it all depends on what, my thoughts on networking are like, it all depends on the reason why you're going there. A lot of people, when they go to networking events, they're like, I want to find an investor. When you go there and you're just asking questions, or you're just finding out, I've got a deal, and you start telling people about this deal, hoping that this elusive figure is going to be like, hey, I've got this 50 grand, here's invest in your deal and whatever. And it's like, that's not what happens. I think networking events is the clues in the name. It's like networking. You're just chatting to people. Some relationships may not take off the ground, and it's fine. That's the first and last time you'll see them. But then other people, you never know. Just from speaking with people, next thing you know, down the line, like a couple months down the line, or even a year down the line, you're now in business with them because you've networked, and your paths haven't crossed at that time, but they've crossed later on because, you know, you've advanced in your business and they've advanced in their business, and then you cross paths then. Do you know what I mean? So I feel like when you go to networking events, you can go with a purpose, but don't be restricted or rigid in that purpose, because just chat. You might just speak with someone and, you know, you find out they're a plumber. Yeah. And you're probably going to think to yourself, oh, well, there's nothing I can do with a plumber. But then you find out that, okay, that plumber turns out they're in Birmingham and... Did you say Birmingham?
No.
Oh, what did you say?
Brighton.
Oh, okay. I thought we was on in sync there. Turns out they're in Birmingham, and then next, you know, down the line, you've now got an essay in, or you've got a property in Birmingham, and you need plumbing assistance or whatever, and that person is now someone that you can connect with to help you out. I feel like as people say, like your network is your net worth, and I feel like
the second time you did good.
Yeah, I got there. But I feel like the more people you speak to and network, the more, even if it feels like those connections don't go anywhere, but the more people you know, the more people.
Sorry, don't go anywhere.
Don't go anywhere.
Sorry.
But yeah, I just feel like the more people that you speak to, the more you're getting yourself out there, the more you'll be surprised who actually speaks your name in the rooms that you're not in.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
When you're speaking with people, and this is something that I realized before we had gotten as busy as we are now. When we were networking, there was a lot of people who were actually speaking our names in rooms that we weren't in. But now it's kind of hard. And that's what I guess we want to get back to, but at the moment we're just so busy with stuff, and we're still implementing systems, but we're still working on newer systems and more efficient systems to free up more of our time. Do you know what I mean? So that's my thoughts on networking.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Also, networking isn't just in a room. Like Sean literally met someone, a landlord, who through somebody else, and that landlord was looking for someone to take over their property for, you know, SA, whatever kind of strategy worked for them in terms of the rental value that they were looking for. And they ended up having like a proper meeting in central London, and again, to talk about things in terms of goals, creating more assets, gaining more capital. And I feel like we underestimate that. I think we underestimate starting a conversation with someone at a bus stop. Yeah. You underestimate starting a conversation with the person at the till who laughed at your joke. You underestimate talking to an old school friend who you've reconnected with and start talking to them about property. Like networking, the power of networking is that people overcomplicate it. And that's what the people who don't overcomplicate it end up standing out from the crowd. Yeah. Those who go there, like I had to speak to one of our mentees the other day because he came with a proper script. Like I could hear him reading off it in the voice though. And I was just like, you are literally just like this person who is about to give you money and tell you, you know, we're going to work with you. Like you are no lower, higher to them. You are equivalent. You bring something to the table that they need, hence why they want to work with you. No one will work with you if you don't bring something to the table. It doesn't even make sense. So there must be some sort of equal partnership going on before they say, I'm happy to work with you. So it was like one of those things where it's like I had to let him know, like, just be informal. Like this is not like the workspace. This is not like the office where you've got that hierarchy of manager, you know, deputy manager, team lead, whatever, and then you've got the rest of the workers. It's not one of those types of situations. When you meet someone, they are your equal. No matter how much money is in the bank, they are your equal. The level of knowledge may be different, but you're still connecting at a space where it's like, we both need each other. Yeah.
I was even going to say, like, you know, just like you said about being informal, I feel like when you are networking, the key thing, right, is 10% of that conversation should be about business. Yeah. The rest should be about the personality. Yeah. And finding out about that person. Yeah. Because I'm not going to lie, I used to go to networking events and just talk purely about business, and it gets boring. Yeah. It gets boring.
And they've heard it 15,000
Do you know what I mean?
times.
All they want to know is, what are you involved in? Okay, and now that I know that what you're involved in, because if you pop up in my mind later on, I know that you are that type of, like, you're a plumber, or
That
you're
company,
you're that company, right? I also know that this is what you like to do. You like to go I don't know, go to football games. Maybe we'll support the same team, or so. We can actually connect on a personal level. And property is a people
Business.
there you go.
Yeah,
Thank you for helping me out.
You're welcome.
Yeah, property is a people business, so it's all about just actually getting to know that person.
Yeah, I agree. I think, just with networking, try to take it not as if you're going out with your friends, but like when you go dinner with your friends, it's not like you're on a high vibe, but it's like it's not formal, but you know the etiquette. You're not going to like roll up in tracksuit in like a really nice restaurant. You might go in something that's a little bit more casual, but the vibe is still right. The vibe is still friendly. The vibe is still good energy. And that's what you kind of want to match with networking. And hopefully that relates to how I'm explaining it. Hopefully you get what I'm trying to explain, but it's very light. It's only those who make it more complicated get a complicated result. If you make it simple, you will get the simple answer that you're looking for. So yeah, I would just say make sure that you're putting yourself out there. If you're going as a couple or a partnership or trio, whatever it is however many people in your company, go as your individual selves. Do not go as your company. Obviously, you can talk about yourself in the company and who you work with, but go as an individual and represent yourself, because the person you meet may not fall in love with the three others that you're working with, but they may specifically fall in love with you and working with you. And that's okay, because you're still bringing in money for the group. So be fine with standing on your own, standing as an individual. And just put yourself out there for networking and see where it takes you. Take the risks, take the jump. Don't be like me, who sometimes sits in the car and hides and waits for Sean to come out.
No, but you know what? One thing though, you have gotten so much better with that though. Because do you remember when we went to that impromptu one in central London? Do you remember? And we parked up, and it's kind of like,
oh gosh,
you did take time to kind of give yourself a pep talk, and you was like, all right, I'm gonna go. It took you an hour, but you still did it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And you went around and you got bare people's like different cards, different contacts and whatever. And it's all about that, because next time you go and do that, you might have to start again.
Yeah.
And you just build from that.
Yeah.
And you keep going.
Yeah.
Something that you even said that was quite interesting actually was that you don't go there and introduce yourself as your company, which a lot of people do.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to go somewhere and be like, hey, I'm Barclays.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you're going to be like, hey, I'm so-and-so, and I do, I don't know, I'm a mortgage advisor or whatever, do you know what I mean? And you're going to sell yourself, and you're going to talk about yourself.
Yeah.
So that's what's important. It's about people investing in you, not your company.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's that.
Well, hopefully that helps. If you guys have any interesting networking events that you've been to, or stuff that you can share for other people who are just starting out, please do leave that in the comments. I'm sure people do want to know spaces that they can go to, because there's not that many at the moment anymore. So I'm excited for next year, where they might roll out new events. But until then, share what you got, spread the word, and hopefully we'll see you at a networking event sometime.
Maybe you might see us at one of ours. Who knows?
Who knows? ...
Thank you for watching to the end, guys. We really appreciate it. As a little thank you gift to you, we'd like to give you an invite to join our free WhatsApp community, where we drop a lot of gems.
If you're still watching, then thank you so much. But more importantly, if you could like and subscribe to this channel to help us bring you more content that we know you'll just love.